If you guys can hear background noise, let me know. I can hear my dad and brother are watching shit in the background now.
What's good, everyone? What's good, everyone coming in? We gotta talk, man. Pain, pain, pain. We gotta talk,
Feel that.
man.
It'll be a therapy session.
This is this is bad. This is bad. It is the second game of the season, but this is bad.
I think he's a great player. I mean,
Miles Turner didn't go to Duke. Did that hurt Duke?
Yes. No.
They won a championship.
What's good, everybody? What is good? Yes, we are in Spain without the S. I was about to tweet that. I don't know why I didn't tweet that. This is tough, man. This is tough. But first, let me introduce everybody quickly. We got Ryan, got Rick. You've seen them. We got our new guest today, our guy Chris Bunn. If you know Chris Bunn, Duke expert, Duke expert on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm a thought haver. That's about it.
Yeah. But yeah, another loss, a tough one. We got smoked tonight. Just call it what it is. Illinois was a much better team. We got out physical. They out physical to us. They did everything. Like we had no advantage tonight, and we took another L. But it's short in the season. But I'll let you guys start off the venting session because I got to reshare this.
Go ahead, Chris. You're the new guy here.
Oh man, I mean, honestly, like where to begin? I thought Illinois was tough. I thought they were physical, they were fast, they were athletic, and I feel like they took the game to Duke. And as much as people made about Duke's size, their physical forwards, they really didn't live up to that in this game. So I thought Mark Williams would have been at least able to make a difference, but he just really didn't do anything. Coleman's a non-factor. And so when you got Hurt and Johnson kind of acting as your primary big, but they're not tough enough to really rebound and battle inside, I thought that wore Duke down over the course of the 40 minutes.
Ryan, take it over, man.
Yeah, I mean, I thought coming into the game was a bad matchup for Duke regardless, but I wasn't prepared for the entire Illini to come out with 6, 7, 8 deep and beat Duke the way they did. I thought if they were going to lose, it was going to be completely in the backcourt, but we saw earlier that Goldwire played 36 minutes, I think it was, and he did all he could defensively. And even then, they had guys who I'd never even heard of that were scoring and who had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus points. DeSomu only scored, I think, what was it, 15, 16? I would have thought he could have had a better game than that, and we did pretty well. It's just offensively, this team is just not there. The lineups aren't there. Anytime they had a chance to pull away or make a comeback and change the momentum, they just shot themselves in the foot. Joey Baker out of the timeout with a little under 4 minutes to go, driving the lane. I don't think that was the plan. Jamin had a size advantage down low, and he kicked it out. And I'm not saying these are huge game-changing plays, but there's a lot of moments in the game where you're just scratching your head like, man, that could have been a huge moment in the game that could have changed it, and nothing ever came, or nobody ever came through. And that was a big bummer to see.
Rick, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, a few things. Clearly Illinois is a veteran team. They're a better team right now. The biggest thing I just I'm getting really tired of, and I try and be positive, but as you guys know on Twitter, there's just so much ISO offense right now. I mean, I think it was in the middle of the second half. Maher had an open three. He didn't shoot it right away. I think he dribbled into the paint a little, backed it down, and then took a contested fadeaway jump shot. Like, just swing the ball around. If you're not going to take the initial shot that you did have open, swing it. Reset the offense. But that's just one example. But there's so many I don't know if we can run more horn sets, more floppy sets. I just think Coach K needs to, the coaches overall just should implement some kind of offense to get these guys moving around on the court a little bit more. It's too stagnant for me. That's my main point right now.
So I guess it's my turn. Listen, this is the worst Duke offense I've ever seen. I am pretty young. I'm 24, so most of my life I've seen pretty great offenses. Like, we could score, even though we know we may not be there defensively in the beginning of the season. We're putting up points. This is the worst Duke offense I have ever seen. Like, I just don't understand. I don't understand. And I said this last game before on Twitter. The Jalen, Mark Williams, and Hurt lineup. Dead that. We can't do that no more. It's just not. It's just not gonna work. Jalen cannot play the 3. He is not a 3, especially in college basketball.
Yeah.
He's not playing the 3 because he can't shoot. And like I told you, Ryan, now I need you to please apologize because I was correct. Jalen's not an ISO scorer. He's not an ISO scorer.
But so here's my question then for you. I don't disagree with you, but what is he supposed to be then?
I think you use him as a Swiss Army knife. You use him off the cut.
But you can't.
He should be an ISO scorer, especially when he has Coburn on him. Drive. I don't know why he's settling for jump shots and that. I don't care if he gets swatted at the rim. Drive on the guy.
Yeah, and there was multiple times where he took guys to the lane, got fouled, or was close to being fouled, and had easy buckets and missed them. I'm not saying he's supposed to be a Tatum or an Ingram, but I feel like his only game right now is an ISO player. I don't really see where else he's supposed to affect the offense in a positive way rather than driving to the lane and either getting fouled or getting a bucket. He can't shoot a 3. He can't settle for a jumper. What else is he supposed to do with a 6'7" body frame?
But that's a
Sorry,
I'm not saying he is one. He just should be one at this point.
I mean, I think you're right, but I think with Winslow in 2015, it worked because you had Okafor in the paint.
Yeah.
You could dump the ball down to. You had Jones who could shoot. You had Cook who could shoot. But imagine that team if Winslow was the number 1 scoring option, and all of a sudden it doesn't work, right? And so that's kind of where Duke's at with Johnson right now, in that he's the premier star of the team, right? It ain't really working because they can't really depend on Hurt all that often. It depends on his matchup. They can't really depend on Stewart because he's kind of streaky. And so, Rick, when you mentioned him having Coburn out at the top and he couldn't score on him, he couldn't drive on him, couldn't do anything with him, that was a red flag to me because it's like, okay, well, what situations can we use you in to generate a bucket? Yeah. Seems pretty narrow.
Zion, can you pull up the stats again in a minute here? I think that's the glaring part about it. I think Johnson played only 22 minutes tonight, 23 minutes tonight. I think that's where maybe even Kay and the staff is struggling. Like, where do we put him in? Like, he's talented, but where do we find space and room and a fit for Jalen on this not this roster, but in these lineups? Because he can score, he's good enough, but obviously he's not out there a lot to get his chances. There's just not a great fit for him on this team right now. Maybe you can find it, but there just hasn't been this all right, boom, that's the spot that Jalen Johnson fits on this team. I don't know, man. I don't have the answers. I understand the confusion.
I did quickly want to get back. I'm looking for the comment. I saw from Duke better. But the only thing I'm saying with this, it says, I don't think Jalen's a 3 now because
that's true.
He didn't develop. He's not. I think he's going to develop into one. I think potential wise, he has that. He could be a 3 in the NBA. But right now, he just. It's not there for him offensively like we thought it was.
It's got to be something with the size of these defenders that he's not used to or something, because you watch his college tapes and his high school tapes and him against anybody in high school, and he just bodied them and was able to get to the rim with ease, and in college it's just not happening.
Listen, someone said something crazy, but it is. Listen, like you said, I think Coach K needs to start from scratch. Just reset everything right now. I need the possibility. You need to find a lineup where you could put Jamin in the game. I don't know how you're gonna do it.
So Zion, I like Jamin. I'm gonna question you on this though. What did Jamin do tonight that warranted anything other than him being able to hit a couple 3-pointers like he did
I
last game.
think
He
the
gives
problem.
good energy.
Yeah,
We saw it himself.
I think the energy, number one. Number two, I think he was just timid tonight. I think it was him. It wasn't that he played bad.
Yeah.
He played scared.
Yeah.
And if he takes 10 shots tonight, I think Duke is in a better position. Like
I wasn't questioning you. I was more so setting you up
Yeah.
for a good answer there, because I agree. Brakefield needs to see more time. Tonight he didn't show much of what we thought he would have in a big game. Getting a decent amount of minutes, he had chances to make plays, and I'm not sure he made them.
I mean,
listen,
Breakfield's
Go
a
ahead,
cool
go
guy
ahead.
anyway, though. You know,
Yeah.
he's 5 points, 5 boards in 17 minutes. He's the guy who is like a third or fourth piece on any competitive team. But that's kind of the makeup of this Duke team. There's a lot of third and fourth guys. Like Stewart would be a great number 2 or number 3. Roach would be a great number 2 or number 3. Johnson's probably better as a 2, and Hurt's not a number 1. And so you've got a bunch of guys who really are waiting for that premier piece for them to work around, and it's just not there. And so you've got a lot of guys trying to do things that they're not super comfortable with.
I thought at the beginning at the beginning of the game, they were trying to focus it, make Hurt the focal point of the game. And towards the end of the first half and into the second half, either he was struggling or they just weren't able to feed him the way they should. Hurt played really well, I thought, to start the game. And then he basically went ghost-like until the end of the second half there. Hurt took the step that everybody thought him and Moore were supposed to take. Moore just hasn't done it. And Chris and Rick and Zion, I guess I'd like to hear guys' thoughts on Moore and what we can do to get him going, because there's no way this Duke team makes any run in the tournament, let alone makes the tournament, without Moore stepping up in some capacity.
Rick, take that.
I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the week about just simplifying his game. Obviously, his shooting stroke is off right now. So what is he good at, or what was he known for before? It's slashing, getting to the rim. He did that, I think, once or twice tonight, but that's what he needs to do. He's not going to do that, and he's not going to do the step back 3, which he did a couple games ago. And I'm like, I don't want to see that out of him. If he does end up turning into that type of player, great, but that's not his strengths. So he needs to get back to that. And I don't think he's really necessarily focused on the defensive end either, which I think is I think the offensive woes are kind of leading into him not playing that well on the defensive end either.
Listen,
Man, he played 8 minutes tonight.
Wendell Moore.
It felt like 17, 18 with
Listen,
the impact
he
it
is
had.
very close. He is very close from getting a DMP. He's very close because he's contributed nothing. Like, what has he done? Like, I love Wendell, and I thought Wendell was going to be that at least second option this year, maybe third. But I thought he was going to be at least one of the top options that we could go to and trust him as a player. But Joey Baker's giving more than Wendell right now.
And that's not saying anything. Yeah, I mean, that's like
I see a lot of comments saying Wendell transfer.
No, Wendell won't transfer.
That's a little
Joey
too early.
transfers before Wendell, in my opinion. But that's a different conversation, I feel like.
So let me ask you guys. Let's look at Wendell Moore's game, right? What would you like? I'm going to ask each of you this to answer the question. What would you say his best skill is? Because I think that's where I'm trying to figure out, how does he actually fit into this team? What does he bring to the table? And I think we're going to get 3 different answers.
Yeah, I mean, I would say his best skill set is different because, like, defensively, he was almost a lockdown defender at the end of last season. Offensively, this season, or going into this season, I would have thought he was an ISO player to an extent to where he could get to the rim and get fouled and go to the line and get 10 to 15 points a game doing just that. Maybe knocking down a jumper, maybe knocking down a 3, but a get to the rim, get fouled kind of guy was what I would say his best strength was.
Okay.
Rick?
Rick.
Yeah, I was going to say initially his defense, which you kind of touched on a second ago. That was always going to be, for me, going into this year, more defense. I expect a little bit more out of him from the defensive side. But then, again, what you just said, slashing it in the basket, getting fouled, that should be a strength. I think his offensive strength should be within 10 feet of the basket. That's what he should focus on.
Yeah, I mean, I want people to put in the comments too what you think about that question. But I mean, if you want to,
Hey,
it's
Duke
hard.
better watch himself. That
Yeah,
comment
yeah,
right
yeah.
there about
You're wilding, bro. Calm
you
down.
better
Calm
calm down.
down a little bit. But Wendell, I would have said coming into this year, I would have said the fact he was a slasher, secondary ball handler, and
Yeah.
his defense.
Brother
But
Hogbelly nailed it right there. That's exactly what I would have claimed that
where's that? Okay, I
up a
see.
little bit. I think that's exactly what I would have claimed him as. What about you, Chris? What were you thinking when you said that we would all say different answers?
So I mean, coming into the season, I was expecting defensive glue guy might be able to handle secondary ball handling skills, like maybe able to back up Goldwire Roach in a pinch.
Yeah.
But the more I watch him play, I'm seeing a guy who can't shoot, who now has a ton of confidence in his shot for seemingly no reason. And most of what you guys described, his best skill was getting to the basket and getting fouled. And I'm sorry, that's not good enough at the college level. If your best skill is getting fouled, you're not that much better than any replaceable player. So, I just don't see the case of playing him over Brakefield, especially Brakefield.
Yeah.
But even Baker in that sense, because at least Baker can hit an outside shot every once in a while.
Can he, though?
Every once in a while.
Every
once in a while. That's
Man,
but a key comment here, Connor said Moore would be better surrounded by shooters. I feel like we have too many of those players.
Yeah.
Jalen would be surrounded by better shooters. Moore would be surrounded. Roach would be better surrounded by shooters. Like, we cannot have so many of those players on one team and expect to have a competent offense.
Well, hey, speaking of that last guy you just mentioned, how about Roach though tonight? I mean,
shout out to Jeremy Roach. I'm calling that because I tweeted that this morning that we needed more.
We should just name this post game show. Let's hype up Zion's original opinions.
That's a fact.
And then after these shows, we can talk about how much Zion was right in these shows. That's what we should just call this show, the Zion Makes Good Takes show. But no, Jeremy played great, man. I don't know. I love a team in transition, and I think Jeremy Roach could be a great transition point guard, especially getting out fast. This team had a lot of great players in the backcourt, and to have this kind of be Roach's breakout game was kind of impressive, and it makes me excited. I think there was more times that he could have and should have shot the ball or drive the lane, and he didn't, and I was kind of disappointed where I think he could have had a game that put him in that 17, 18, 19, 20 point range, but I was really excited to see him finally break out a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, for me, though, now going forward, Roach played well tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
At least the turnovers are down.
Yeah. He had 7 assists. He had 7. I don't even notice he had 7 assists.
Besides Goldwire's 2 and 9, and Chris, I know you hinted at it before the show started. He shouldn't be shooting 9 shots, but he played well. I mean, if Goldwire doesn't put that press on like he does, it feels like every game now this season. We're not even. It's a 20-point game, but he played well for what it's worth.
Oh yeah, I love Goldwire's defense. I mean, I say it all the time on Twitter. Like, his defense alone might be worth 4 to 6 to 8 points a game because he's able to spark rallies. He's able to get in guys' faces. He's able to generate fouls. He's able to do so much defensively that elevates the rest of the team. And I mean, you look around at the rest of that team. We talk about how Wendell Moore is supposed to be bringing this defense. Goldwire actually brings the defense. He's actually the guy setting that tone for everybody else.
Yeah.
And tonight that almost got Duke back into the game. Some of that led Duke into like 10, 9-point range. And you could tell that 1 or 2 shots fall down and all of a sudden this is a completely different game. Tonight it wasn't enough, but there will be nights where it is enough.
For sure.
What do you guys think about the defense overall?
To me, the defense is better than it's shown. And I think a little bit of they give 83 points tonight, but I think a little bit of the defensive struggles have come from the offensive struggles.
Agreed.
So, like, when you're not hitting shots repeatedly, you only get so many stops in a row, especially against Illinois.
You bring a 3 and it leads to a fast break.
Bad shots and bad offense is going to lead to a good offense on the other side for their team. So, like, I think that's the biggest problem with their defense. I mean, someone said Illinois shot 58%. I think that's because Duke was so bad on offense. They gave, Illinois
Yeah.
better opportunities on the other end, but
And Illinois shot 63% from three. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not one to say like, man, if they were to miss these shots, the game's different story. But they hit some contested shots tonight that I would wish a Duke team could hit.
sometimes you got to tip your cap. They were lights out from deep.
I mean, we took 17 more shots than they did, which I would like to see. I don't have the fast break, or I don't have any of the fast break stats in front of me right now, but a good chunk of those I bet are off of, brick shots, turnovers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, something that I don't think we really talked about much because we lost this game by 15 points, but Illinois, as much as people made of Coburn and everything, they only had 4 offensive rebounds. So Duke really limited them to one shot.
Yeah.
Except Illinois kept making that one shot. And you just don't win games when the other team is scoring on their one and only shot every single time.
True.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was kind of the Williams Coburn matchup I thought was going to be more intriguing throughout the game, but I think we found out quickly that if you can get Coburn into a little bit of foul trouble right away, and he's pretty slow. He's way slower than I actually thought he was. We had a few guys block him quite a bit. That I think Baker got a block on him. Johnson had a block or two on him.
But I think I'm sorry to cut you off, but
I
think just with Mark Williams, he played 7 minutes tonight.
Yeah, that's why I said I thought it would be a more intriguing matchup than it ended up being. We ended up being able to not have to go as big as I thought we were going to this game, just because he's 7 foot 285. I mean, there was a shot of him and Coleman at the free throw line, and Coleman looked tiny compared to him, and Coleman is not a Zion build, but close to it. And I would guess I was pleasantly surprised with how we were able to handle Coburn for the most part.
Yeah, I think also Duke just they couldn't score with Mark on the court. They just couldn't.
Yeah.
It just wasn't gonna happen. And I don't know what they're gonna do. You have all these bigs on your roster with Tapey, Mark, Hurt, and I don't think there's a need to play all of them, to be honest. And I feel bad for Tapey because he came in. I mean, he did decommit. You had a chance to walk out, but
you gave yourself a chance.
You gave yourself a chance, but
he's that Sean Obi route. Come in and get your degree, just sit on the bench and look good. That's all you got to do.
Yeah,
but that's just reality. That's really just reality. But one thing I did want to get into because Roach, piggybacking off Roach playing, there's been a different lineup every game, every single
it's going to continue, so.
And we know there's going to be a different lineup now based off the way Roach played.
Yeah.
So I want everyone in the comments and you three to give me your next Duke lineup for the next game. Charleston, I believe, on Saturday.
So the question is going to be what would we put if we were Coach K as a lineup, right? That's the question. Because we're not doing this. We're not giving 7 different lineups and then Zion can come out and say he was right.
No.
All right, Zion, you kick it off then.
Nah, you kick it off. I'm waiting for you. I'll come in last.
All right, next game. I don't care about the matchup part. It's got to be Goldwire, Roach, Stewart, Johnson, Hurt. I don't know what else you can do. You can't start Williams, Hurt, and Johnson in the same lineup. Coach K's not going to not start Johnson. I don't feel like, at least he hasn't shown it yet. So that's my lineup. Got to go with it. So it's Goldwire, Roach, Stewart, Johnson, Hurt.
Who you got, Rick?
I think Brakefield will get the start. It'd be like Roach, Jay Gold, Brakefield, probably Jalen still at the 4, and then Hurt at the 5.
Yeah, I'm with Rick. I'd say the same 5. I like Stewart, I think, is good, but he's got to be the 6th man, be your instant offense. And then you just bring him in for whichever point guard is struggling early. Simple swap.
I mean, I agree.
I guess my question is, though, like in tonight's game, what did Brakefield show Kay and the staff that like he's going to come out, he should be a starter? And I like Brakefield.
He made 2 jump shots. He made 2 jump shots. That's enough for me.
I'm not a Brakefield hater. I love Brakefield. I think he definitely deserves a chance at the starting lineup. I'm just curious as to normally what Kay has done in the past is he's gone with who had the hot last game. For the most part, I don't know. I love Break. I think he should get a chance to start. I'm just not sure. He showed tonight what K wants and what K would do next game.
Wait, Rick, what was your lineup?
Mine was J Gold, Roach, Breakfield, Jalen, and then Hurt.
I agree.
So it's basically just subbing. I have Stewart. You guys have Breakfield.
Yeah.
I think that might be the lineup that might
When-
stick. That might stick, to be honest.
Yeah. When it comes down to it, I mean, he's seeing what's working. That's all it is. I don't take too much stock into who's actually starting the game. I mean, you can start and play less minutes than the 6-man coming off. He's just trying to find different combos that work, so I'm okay with whatever, but that's what I think it should be for the next matchup.
I got one question. I know we only wanted to go 25 minutes. I got one question for everybody. On a scale of 1 being this is an Elite 8 Final Four team to 10,
man.
no, to 10 being this team misses a tournament, what panic level are we at right now?
Whoa! This is the tournament. That doesn't happen
No,
with Duke.
I'm saying 1 to 10. That's the scale we're at. I know on a scale of
Don't
1
even
to,
put that on the. Don't
on a
even
s-
put that on the scale because that's
understand. On a
that is
scale
not
of
an option.
on a
That is
scale
not
of 1 to
we
Final
are not
Four
UNC.
to 10 to not
We are
making the
not
tournament.
UNC.
What panic level are we at right now?
Nah, what's your 10? What's your realistic 10? Because that's not an
Okay,
option.
8 to 10 seed in the tournament. There you go.
That's fair.
I'm not saying we're going to miss a tournament. That's just my panic scale, and the chat's not disagreeing with me.
No, I didn't see no
Three?
10s.
3
Man.
people are just kidding themselves, man.
It's
What
the
is- wait.
9th, man. It's game 4. I think the thing that I have to think about with this team in particular is that it's 6 freshmen, it's 4 sophomores. It's a lot of young kids who have never played that often together or in game 4, and they've had 2 top 10 teams so far, Michigan State and Illinois. So I'm not panicking all that much. Like, let's get to January and let's see where they're at. If they're 6-4, okay, maybe we got to panic a little bit. But right now, I think they'll be fine. They just need to figure out what their identity is, and that's going to take a little bit of time.
I'm gonna butt in just real. I'm sorry to butt in, but I think I'm at a 7. That's where I'm at because
Panic wise?
Duke has 1 game until ACC play. Duke's gonna play a Notre Dame team that should have beat Ohio State tonight, who's a top 25 team. I've seen way better Duke teams lose to much worse ACC opponents than that they've lost to
That's a road game, right?
handedly.
That's a road game?
Yeah, it's at Notre Dame.
To be honest, I'm very excited to go on the road. I am very excited to go. I'm tired of them
I'll
playing.
give you that. I'm not saying this team's couldn't turn out to be a good team. I'm a little nervous though, man. I've seen much better Duke teams handle teams like Illinois, Michigan State, and I've seen better Duke teams lose to teams like, I guess, Virginia Tech's and Notre Dame's that were not that great in the past. And I get nervous for ACC play because you see Duke across the court and you see a Duke team that's vulnerable like this team, and they're going to start licking their chops, man. I'm not saying this Duke team's bad or they're not making the tournament. I'm starting to get a little worried. That's all I'm saying.
I think you're overreacting. Number 1, relax.
That's fine. I'll take it.
It's game 4, bro.
But man,
it's game 4. But I think with the road games, I think it's much different. Number 1, I do not understand why they're missing shots at Cameron. You shot in the same gym the past 4 months. This is the only gym and the practice gym. This is the only gym you've seen. Why are teams coming in and shooting 10 threes and we're bricking every shot? That doesn't make any sense to me. But I do think the road games will be better for them because I feel like you're at a disadvantage on the road. You're an underdog on the road type. And even though there are no fans, it's just like you come in with a different mentality, like you're counted out. I feel like there's a lot of pressure playing at home right now, and they're with no fans, and they're just getting smacked around. We just got smacked back-to-back games, and well, besides that Bellarmine game, who cares about that? We got to smack back-to-back games in Cameron. When does that happen?
But
Early in the season.
man, I'm not trying to sound like the pessimist here because I'm normally an eternal optimist. But 69 against Michigan State, 76 against Bellarmine, and 68 against Illinois. Going to places like Notre Dame and
Does Notre Dame have fans?
Florida State, I don't know.
Their
I'm
football
not
games
as
have fans.
yeah. I'm sure they'll have a little bit. But your first 2 ACC opponent, or sorry, they play Pittsburgh in between there. But you got Notre Dame and Florida State to start the ACC play. I'm worried, man. I'm on that 7 out of 10, hitting that panic button a little bit because this offense, man, like you said, it's the worst you've seen in history. They can't hit them in Cameron, where they've been practicing for the last 3 months. Are they supposed to go to Notre Dame and start hitting threes?
I mean, no, but I do feel like they're in a weird stretch right now. It's just very weird. Everything is weird. Everything. They're
They
not
definitely
used.
have like the skill to do it. Like I'm a little worried. That's all I'm saying.
And I'll say another thing. This team is young, obviously.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to one of my best friends. He's a UNC fan. He
Hey
loves,
Zion, you never put up stuff where people agree with me. Put up Kevin LG's comment there,
What
just
did
so
he say?
everybody sees that. No,
Oh, Ryan's
next-
making sense.
there
Wow.
we go. Thank you.
For
Finally, I
once.
got one person.
For once.
Thank you.
But yeah, I feel like this team is young. So you're seeing it with Kentucky too. Kentucky looks awful. Kentucky looks bad, but it's because you're playing like 6 guys who weren't on the team last year. Some of them never experienced college basketball before, and you're coming off a pandemic with no exhibition, no
Yeah,
regular
that's a good
off
point.
season. Like these teams are gonna struggle. We're gonna struggle. Like we're just gonna struggle. It's naturally gonna happen. We can't just be good off the bat like Illinois or a Baylor. You see those teams are running out and playing well. Gonzaga, because they have the veterans and the leadership and the talent. We don't.
Yeah, I think Vivek Chanel hit it right though. It's about finding the rotations and finding who fits well with each other, and we're still trying to figure that out. And if we can figure that out, this team could be in a lot better position in a month from now. But there's just been, it seems like every 4-minute timeout, there's a new rotation out there, and they're just trying to figure out who's fits best with each other.
People are saying
Yeah.
3.
I mean, I'm not as I'm only like maybe a 3 or a 4 right now on that scale. Obviously, deeper along we get in the season, that'll change if there's an offensive identity by that point. But I think the defense is actually farther ahead than what I thought it was going to be. What Chris said initially, we played 2 top 10 teams. Okay. Veteran squads. Okay. We got beat down in this game. Okay. It's still early. But the only aspects that kind of does make me worry a little bit, if we don't get an offensive identity at some point, or I don't see slow improvement, it does remind me a little bit of 07, where it was a fairly good defensive squad and we really couldn't do much on offense at all. I hope it doesn't turn into that, but right now I'm just at like a 3 or 4.
I mean, I understand some of the panic with you, Ryan, but let's slow it down. Let's slow it down.
Quick question for Chris. Andrew M1010 asked this, or said the same thing about Curbello's dream school being Duke. I don't know anything about him in the recruiting game. Was that somebody we just missed on or didn't go after?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: if you're watching high school kids and 5-star number 1 point guard Jeremy Roach is like seriously interested in Duke, and then there's this other kid who's like probably pretty good, you're not going to tell Jeremy Roach, well, now hang on a second. That kid's going to burn us when he comes to Cameron, so we got to go recruit him. It doesn't work like that. Like, he played great. Like, all hats off to him. Incredible.
He's a freshman, right?
Yeah, he's a freshman.
Okay. I don't know anything about him, so.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like Duke never would have ever considered him when you've got guys like DJ Stewart and Jeremy Roach considering you. It's not on the radar. And so sometimes those kids come and they burn you. Sometimes they become nothing, and you never hear about the kids that become nothing. And so the guys that come in and burn you, those are a bit more high profile.
I do want to get to one question that someone did ask. I guess it's in this question too. Who's the leader of this team? Who is the leader of Duke right now? Because every year we know who's the leader. Like last year we knew it was Trey. Even the year before, Zion and RJ were leaders just because they were so good. The year before, was it Grayson?
It depends which TV timeout you look at the huddle at. I mean,
it's Goldwire to me.
It's got to be Goldwire, yeah.
He sets the tone on defense.
He does, but it's tough to have a leader that can't take over the game.
It's true. Yeah.
It's like Goldwire can do a lot of good intangibles. He can, spark runs or whatnot. But if your leader cannot say, "Okay, I will carry you," and put the team on the back.
Yeah, Hurt's a little quiet to do that, and he's the only one that can really put the team on the back right now.
Yeah, so like
you can't have a leader who's not on the floor in crunch time leading.
Yes.
Like Goldwire can do that. He can do that.
Yeah.
Like, 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm blanking on him because he wasn't that significant. Duke had a team captain who was effectively a 6th or 7th man, and you can't actually take a team very far if you're trying to lead from the bench in serious moments. And Duke needs that guy to step up. So it's either going to be Jalen Johnson. I don't think it's going to be Matt Hurt, or it has to be Goldwire. Otherwise, I don't know if they can go very far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jalen, man, I mean, the drop off is crazy for these last couple. I mean, granted, he has picked up fouls. He has kind of been in awkward spots too with the position. Oh man, I'm getting Bleacher Report updates of them tweeting out Illinois celebrations. This is bad. But yeah, I just don't know. I thought it was gonna be Wendell, to be honest, going into the season, but that is gone. Like I saw Wendell. I think Stewart fouled somebody. He jumped into a shooter, and Wendell was kind of like calling him out, and like even from that point, is like as a player, like when you've contributed nothing to the game, what is a freshman thinking when you're calling him out like that?
He shot that step back fadeaway tonight and airballed it in the first half, and he just looked like he was the lowest human on earth after he did that. And I saw him in the corner of the screen, and I was like, oh god, this is not good. And it was just still downhill from there.
I don't know how we get Wendell to get going, because like at least with Grayson, like those type of leaders, at some point they were going to click, even though they'll struggle and they'll still contribute in any other ways. I don't know what Wendell is going to do to click. It's just
because we don't need him to score 15 to 20. We need him to score 8 to 15. I mean, it's not like it's not like we need to have him do a ton. It's just like do a little bit more than 0 for 4, 0 for 5, 0 for 6 every game. I mean,
I want 8 points on 4 shots from Wendell Moore every single. Like I don't need more than that. Just give me those 4 layups or open jumpers that you get, and don't stop taking these 20-footers, man. It ain't your game.
Yeah.
No matter how much you want it to be your game, it ain't it.
This person, Kobe, you are wilding. Stop it.
Well, hey, no, he's not completely wrong in this.
Stop.
He's not coming back. No.
I'm not saying he's coming back, but don't even say he's looking like he's going to need a year or two, because that's not true.
15, 20 years ago, yeah, but not now. He's NBA bound no matter what happens the rest of the year.
Listen, he could average 7 points the rest of the year. He's still going top 15. I'll tell you why, because of his potential, and they'll just blame the system at Duke, to be honest.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't know about top 15, but you're not wrong. He's going either way.
He's going top 15, bro. He's 19.
So now he is, but if he averaged 7 a game, I mean, come on. He's probably top 20.
The league drafts on potential.
I know.
We got 2 more minutes because we are way over time. If y'all got any questions? Who's better, Duke or Kentucky?
Duke by far. Come on.
Turnovers and 3-point percentage.
Have you watched Kentucky play?
Kentucky's been bad, but like Duke hasn't been any bad.
it actually might be a good game to watch.
No, it's not gonna be a good game to watch. It's gonna be a close game. But it's
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It'd be a good game. Oh wow, Coach K called us young and not good tonight.
Oh, that's what he said?
He said Illinois was old and good, and we were young and not good.
He ain't wrong.
He's spitting facts, that's for sure.
How long are we going to use the young thing, though? I understand that we are young, but realistically, we have 3 guys who played significant minutes last year.
Yeah.
I mean, also, whose fault is it that we're young? He's the one that doesn't build roster continuity.
Yeah.
Speak on it.
Yeah, you're not wrong, man.
That's true. I mean, the last time we've had a impactful senior was Grayson.
Grayson.
And that was Grayson still should have left sophomore year to me. That's still I don't.
Yeah, I agree. And before that, it was Quinn. But it's going to be a little bit before we have another impactful senior.
I mean, look at Goldwire. Like, he's the veteran on this team, but he was a 3-star point guard who was basically brought in as a practice player. And the only reason he's stepped into a leadership role and gotten a lot of playing time is because roster wasn't really well constructed. It wasn't thought ahead 2 or 3 years. It was thought of who we got to bring in next year to fill the gaps. And K got in that cycle, and now it's a cycle that's really hard to break unless you bring in 5 or 6 guys that stick around for year 2.
Yeah.
Which maybe that's where we're headed next year. We'll see.
I think that's the year we're in right now, is where you have 4, 5, 6 guys that are in for next year.
Listen, that's a note we'll end on. That's what I'll end on. Listen, we may struggle now, we may lose games now, but next year,
God. We said we weren't going to talk about next year, so
listen,
stop
we're
it.
talking about next year because at this point, we have nothing to celebrate right now. Until they give us something to celebrate, we're going to talk about next year. But, all
right, so Zion, who's your starting 5 beginning of 2020? I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, I was like, wow, you're going strong with it.
No, I'm just kidding. We're not doing that.
Ronnie 2024, yes, sir. Oh, I clicked the wrong one.
Yes,
sir.
Bring him.
Unless they nix the NBA rule. But yeah, appreciate y'all joining us tonight. We went definitely over, but it naturally happened. I saw people were watching, so I guess we could have kept going. But definitely appreciate y'all for joining us. I don't know when we will be back. Appreciate Chris for joining us. Definitely we're definitely gonna have you on more.
Absolutely.
But
it was fun.
Yeah, I would say we'll definitely do more when ACC play starts. ACC play starts because those are more meaningful games. Charleston, no one cares. I mean, listen, if we play bad and we lose, I'm not even going to want to talk about it because at this point.
Because then you'll know that Ryan's panic meter of 7 was right, and you don't want to go live when Ryan's right. That's for sure.
You'll still be wilding, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine. This is game number 4.
Yeah,
and we have no, knock on wood, we have no cases. So we're looking good in terms of that. But appreciate y'all for joining us. We'll holler at you later.